Alright, so once you exit the sealed temple, you will be greeted by another cutscene here, which we'll just skip through. Once you gain recontrol of Link, you want to do 5 rolls over to this corner. Sprint a bit until you reach the last quarter of your stamina wheel, and then do 3 more rolls to the end. The reason we want to sprint a little bit is because right now our stamina meter is just above where the last quarter is, as we can see. But if we were to roll right now, we would actually use up as much stamina per roll as the first 3 quarters of the stamina wheel does. So if we want to actually be efficient with our stamina with things like rolls and quick spins concerning the last quarter of the stamina wheel, the stamina, like where the current meter is in the gauge needs to actually be in the last quarter here, right? If it's right here and we do something like a roll or a quick spin, it's going to use up as much as it would in the first 3 quarters again. So be mindful of that whenever it comes up. So 3 more rolls, and then we have enough stamina to roll into this cutscene and run out of stamina. Gorko has a single text box, that's all there is to the cutscene. And this is where we get our first difference between normal mode and hero mode in the run. So normal mode has a much more hero mode has a much more powerful Skyward Strike that it gets to use. The Skyward Strike power in hero mode is the same power as the Master Sword is throughout the entire game, right? So in hero mode, you essentially have Master Sword damage from the beginning of the game. And that is pretty big for fights like this that are coming up. And the Skyward Strike also travels farther, and you can charge it up quicker. So the Skyward Strike is pretty much just always better in hero mode versus normal mode. So concerning this fight specifically, once you regain control of Link, you want to do 3 rolls forward and then take out your sword and begin charging a Skyward Strike. And then, because you run through the group of Bokoblins here, the Bokoblins will all sort of group together and try to travel up behind you. But they're all close enough that if you turn around here, and then, so turn 180 degrees around, and then do a horizontal Skyward Strike, the Skyward Strike with Master Sword damage is going to hit all of them and kill them all right away. Just like that. Now, it's important here that you're not too close to the Bokoblins when you try this. If you're too close to the Bokoblins, then your sword is going to make contact with the Bokoblins before the Skyward Strike does, and you will just do Goddess Sword damage, which is not as high as Master Sword damage. So make sure that you're far enough away from the Bokoblins, or else they're not going to die in one hit, as we see here. And there are some times where, your Skyward Strike might miss one of the Bokoblins for a number of reasons. One of them might just be out of the horizontal range. It could be that due to this game's auto-targeting mechanics, the Skyward Strike got angled upwards slightly and missed one in the back or something like that. So in that case, you actually want to switch over to the normal mode strategy when that happens. And the normal mode strategy in this situation is you basically want to group up the Bokoblins, just like the hero mode strategy, except you then want to do continuous horizontal slashes, hopefully getting all of the Bokoblins in a group and slashing them all at once. And if you do that correctly, each Bokoblin will die in 3 hits, and if you get lucky, it's not very much slower than the Skyward Strike strategy, but it's much more luck dependent because you just have to hope that the Bokoblins won't block you at any point. So, when I do it here, with this specific slashing rhythm, the Bokoblins were blocking me quite a lot during this. So, it took a while to get rid of all of them, and they kind of scattered apart from each other, so... but that's unfortunately the best that you can really do in normal mode. And once again, you want to make sure that you have this slashing rhythm when you're trying to get rid of them. Because if you slash too fast, then... the Bokoblins will get knocked back before they actually die, which is not what you want, of course. So make sure you use this slashing rhythm for getting rid of the Bokoblins. And once again, if you're doing the hero mode strategy but you miss one, then it's usually best to switch to this normal mode strategy. Or if you really want to, you can charge up another Skyward Strike and get far enough away from the Bokoblin to hit it again. And also, if we go back here, once all of the Bokoblins die, at least, this is just my personal advice, I always pick up a green or blue rupee right here. because the text that you get here is going to then, or the cutscene that you get for, picking up a rupee for the first time is going to play while the purple smoke of these bokoblins dying is disappearing. And Gorko, the Goron right here, will only begin talking to you once all their smoke has dissipated. So if I notice any blue or green rupees here, I usually could just go for the closest one to get rid of that text box and guarantee that I will never see it for the rest of the game. Because you don't really lose any time for getting it right now, assuming that you get it really quickly. So just like this, the purple smoke disappears, and Gorko talks to us immediately, just like that.